Sporting competitions across Australia are all feeling the impacts of coronavirus.
It's come to this.
There you have it. The balls are washed once they go over the fence.
Extraordinary measures in uncertain times.
An Australia without rugby league is not Australia.
The Matildas have become a dominant force in the world game. Now a growing number of players are being snapped up by England's top flight competition.
It's a new challenge. I think challenge is good, and if anything, it's challenging me mentally.
It's not just Sam Kerr. We talk about a golden generation. There's a whole host of players in this generation, but also the next.
Caitlin Ford, Chloe Lagazzo and Hayley Razzo have recently moved to England, along with uncapped teenager Jacinta Galabadaracici.
Our reporter Daniela Intili is at the Sydney Showground Stadium. Danny, this is a big challenge for Australia.
It is, and Jez, a bit of a mixed start. 2 drop catches in the first 2 overs, but it's good to see that Australia did get those 2 wickets. Australia is, of course, the defending champion, the #1 ranked side and tournament favourite. But if there's a team that can derail Australia's hopes of winning a 5th World Cup, it is India.
Bridie Sewell was born with a large tumour inside her spinal cord. She had emergency surgery when she was just 3 days old.
They didn't really know what her future would be like.
Bridie went on to defy medical expectations. She made history as the youngest athlete to finish the Ausday 10K race after a big fall.
How does it make you feel?
Pretty amazing, the first little one to do it.
Danny, what's the latest on Tariq Sims?
We need to. Tariq Sims arrived here about half an hour ago. The Blues and Dragons forward will plead not guilty to dangerous contact on North Queensland's Michael Morgan. If he wins, he gets to play in the Origin decider. Folau now has 48 hours to respond and request a code of conduct hearing. It's expected he'll challenge Rugby Australia's decision, citing religious grounds and freedom of speech.
Wings wins her third. Queen Elizabeth beats Kluger.
We've just witnessed sporting greatness, and it's hard not to get caught up in the joy and emotion of what truly is a fairy tale ending for this wonder mare.
Jasmine McQuarkadale was 9 years old when she first picked up a surfboard.
And just from then, I've always loved it.
Now 16, she's the Australian Women's Indigenous Surfing Champion.
With surfing set to make its Olympic debut next year at the Tokyo Games, there's even more motivation for these young surfers to one day showcase their Indigenous heritage on the world's biggest stage.
Sarah Coit was living her dream. The talented all-rounder has won World Cups with the Southern Stars and the Ashes, but her success on the field was in stark contrast to the struggles in her private life.
It's weird because you think you're like in a good place to talk about it, then you go down memory lane.
This Southern Star was in the grip of anorexia and on a path of self-destruction.
Anorexia nervosa has the highest fatality rate of any mental illness. Athletes are twice as likely to develop an eating disorder because of their drive to succeed.
Danny, there's a deep rivalry between these two sides, isn't there?
Absolutely, Jez. The Thunder come in as the defending champions, while the Sixers finished last season on the bottom of the table. But for many years, it was the other way around. The Thunder were the perennial cellar dwellers and the Sixers were the competition pace setters.
The biggest scandals in Australian sports history has come to a conclusion. Daniela Intili reports.
The guilty bombshell sent shockwaves throughout the Essendon Football Club, their fans and the nation.
We, like I think everybody else in the Essendon wider community, was shocked.
This has been the most complex anti-doping case in Australia's history.
Roosters premiership player Mitchell Pearce has been arrested and fined after a run-in with police. The tumultuous NRL career of Todd Carney could be over after the Sharks tonight sacked their star playmaker over a lewd photo. The NRL judiciary will convene tonight to consider a biting charge against Canterbury's James Graham.
And Daniela, NRL, I guess it wouldn't be finals if there wasn't some controversy.
That's right. I think Manly did deserve to win, but heartache for the Cowboys and the way it was won.
Obviously, the big story at the moment is Lance Armstrong.
It's absolutely huge, and the implications for this are going to be massive, not just on Armstrong, but other riders. Cadell Evans, for example.
Massive upset with the Raiders pipping the Bulldogs.
Who would have thought that Canberra would have beaten the Bulldogs? Actually, one person, he was a punter, he bet $30,000 on the Raiders to win, and I thought this guy's crazy. But he is the one that's laughing. Some big news involving the Eels. Ricky Stewart is expected to be announced as coach. No official signing yet. That's going to happen in a few days. What that means is that the New South Wales Blues will have to find a new coach.
Daniela Intili is at the SCG with all the details.
Well, both Brett Lee and Mitchell Johnson were forced to withdraw today due to illness and injury.
ESPN's Daniela Intili sat down with the winner of 7 Grand Slam singles titles.
You were named #1 2 years in a row. Are you at the top of your game?
Always room for improvement.
The veteran striker spoke to ESPN's Daniela Intili.
So the coach has come under some media scrutiny over his selection of overage players. What's your reaction to that?